Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
All right, everybody, it's that time. It is You as a Whole, Body, Mind, and Soul here on USA Global TV and Radio. I am trying to get the computer to work a little bit better. You can see the don't adjust your TV sets. There's some technical difficulties here, but hopefully you can see me well enough to get the gist. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk today about the joy of the season and not allowing yourself to let things bring you down and get you to the point where you lose your joy of the season. Now, in the last 8 weeks, I had my marriage end. I'm going to be divorced soon, probably within the next 2 months. A week later, one of my favorite uncles died suddenly, and I awoke to the news that he passed away that morning. Found out that a friend had a debilitating disease that is degenerative and a very close person. And that's painful. That's hard to take. Lot of hits. And you know what? I'm happier right now than I've been in, I can't tell you how long. I really am. And I think the reason why is I haven't had to handle as much adversity as I have now. Yeah, I went through my surgery and everything and the ulcerative colitis back in 2002 to 2015. And I went through the surgery in 2015. I went through all that stuff. And that was adversity. But that was physical adversity. That was pain. That was struggle. And I knew that I was going to get better. I knew that I was having the surgery done and I was going to be better. I didn't know how I was going to handle this type of adversity. This gives me a little bit of insight as to where I'm headed when more adversity comes, when the things that I will be honest with you, the thing that scares me the most is the loss of my parents, or well, the loss of my children would probably be most, but then the loss of my parents, which is inevitable unless I die first, which is unlikely. Would I be able to handle that? Would I be able to go on? Would I be able to, because we're close, we're very close, and we've always been very close. Would I be able to go on? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes, because I'm getting a divorce and I'm going on and I'm happy and I'm meeting people and I'm going out, and I just had a conversation with someone who I haven't seen in probably 40 some years. It's amazing to me. And I've said this on almost every show, how years really don't change anything. I mean, there's, as far as when there's friendship, and to be honest, we didn't really remember each other all that well, but I hope she's watching right now, because she's part of the reason why that's the topic of the show tonight. She's gone through adversity herself, and I just wanted to let her know and everybody else know that enjoy the season. Just live it. Just live it. And that's what I'm going to do the rest of my life. I spent way too much time in my life worrying about, is my hair okay? You know, I'm losing my hair in the back. Now, you know, I'm probably done. I'm probably, what I have left is probably, there you go, it's what's staying. I don't think I'm losing any more. But, you know, would I like to have my full head of hair back like I had in college? Of course I would. Of course I would. I'll be 50 years old on Friday. Do I wish I was 25? Do I wish I was 30? Sure, sure. But I also look at things like, what do I have now? I have a perspective of take every day one at a time. I have a perspective of whatever's going to happen is going to happen. You know, if I was always scared, what if I get sick again? You know, I'm not saying I don't care. You know that I don't care if I get sick and have another disease or whatever. It's possible, and I don't want it, but I'm not afraid of it. And what happens when I do lose my parents, which is inevitable? I mean, my father's going to be 80 the day after my birthday. He was 29 when I was born, turned 30 the next day. And my mother's 77. I mean, do they have 3 decades left? And of course not. They have 1 to 2 decades left, if that, and 2 decades is very unlikely. So I've decided that, you know, the fear that I've had that I'm not going to be able to handle that is I balled it up and threw it in the trash can and said, no, you're going to handle it. It's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. Just like, you know, a couple of years ago when I got into that deep depression for 3 years and I gained tremendous amounts of weight and just was in terrible shape. I mean, not just visually, but also um, my blood pressure, my uh, resting heart rate. You know, I couldn't do anything. I was just I was an athlete. You know, I had never really been that bad before. I had no passion for my work. I had no passion for anything. And now it's coming back. It's growing back. And a lot of it has to do with making connections with people. Another example is on Saturday night, my sixth grade teacher, we're talking close to 40 years now, invited me to her Christmas party. And I saw her and my eighth grade teacher, who's a good friend, Eileen Vignola. And Judy Crossan was my sixth grade teacher. Eileen Vignola is we've become really close friends over the last couple of years, and she was there with her husband, and just being with people is wonderful. I mean, it makes me happy. Um, you know, people ask me, am I sad about the losses? Am I sad about the divorce? Sure. I mean, how could you not be? How could you be with somebody for 23 years, married for 20, and have children with them, and then not feel some sort of loss? Yes, I feel a loss. I feel a sadness. I feel um, a nostalgia that something is different. But I've mourned already. I mean, I've already gone through the mourning period. It was hard. I cried. I you know, we talked about vulnerability last week, and it's okay. I mean, I cried till my own lungs almost came out, and I was devastated. But I'm not now. I'm not. Doesn't mean I'm not sad. It doesn't mean I don't have moments where I'm hurting a little bit. But I, for the most part, I'm totally confident. I feel really good. The work in the gym that I've been able to do has been fantastic, and not just the muscles. I mean, a lot of people they think, well, you know, one of the people that I was talking about used the term muscle head, and a lot of us lifters we're really sensitive about that. I'm not a muscle head. I'm yes, I'm a muscular man. I am, but that's not that's like the icing on the cake. The real pride comes from when I'm in that gym and I'm pushing myself so hard and I'm on that bench and I'm benching and I'm pressing as hard as I can or I'm curling as hard as I can. I'm I don't know if this is good or bad. I'll be honest with you. I mean, some people tell me that this is a good quality and some people tell me it's a bad quality. I'm all in or I'm all out. I'm not I don't go halfway. So I'm not the kind of guy that could go to the gym and just bench press a certain amount of weight for 10 reps and then do 3 sets and then walk out. I can't do that. I go to failure every single set that I do. Now, this past week, I did a heavy set. I'm not going to get into weight. And then I dropped off all the weights and just did the bar for 30 repetitions with just the bar. Now, people might have looked at me like, "Oh, look at this wimp. He doesn't have any weights on the bar at all. He's just lifting the bar." But they didn't see the work that I did before. They didn't see that I was lifting much more weight before and had already exhausted myself. So, I don't care anymore. I mean, I'm to the point where it doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is making connections. What matters to me is meeting people. What matters to me is having friends. Do I want to find love again? Yes, of course. Do I dream about it? Yeah, and I have since we've been struggling in our marriage. But at the same time, I'm content with my life right now. I don't need to have that. I don't have to have it. I would like to have it. And it's something that I don't think will happen quickly. I think it's something that needs to develop over time. I think a lot of times we want things to happen. Like when I was 252 pounds, I wanted to be back down to 200, the next week. Ah, Rachel, thank you very much. Rachel said, "Happy birthday." My birthday is December 20th. Yeah, I'm before our buddy Jimmy. Hey, Rachel, welcome back. Good to have you on the show again. Every week, Rachel's here with Antoinette, her daughter, and I appreciate that a lot. So thank you, Rachel. Rachel and I have been friends for 30 some years now. Um, so thank you. Yes, 4 more days. I will finally be out of my 40s into my 50s. I'm in better shape now than I was in my 20s. I really am. And I know people say that and you're like, nah, get out of here. That's ridiculous. But I've said this on the show. I mean, I could jump rope for an hour and a half straight without stopping. I could run about 14 miles an hour, which isn't world class speed, but it's not bad for a 50-year-old. Um, I lift the weights. Again, I won't get into the whole um, amount of weight, but it's more than I should be able to do. As Dr. Jacqueline just posted, she says that she's stronger at 61 than ever before. And it's happening because people are realizing that age is just a number. That's all it is. It's just a time in your life. That's it. The rest of my life is going to be lived moment to moment. I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. Doesn't mean I'm not going to compromise. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to um, uh, I don't do ultimatums. Let me put it this way. When somebody says to me, "You do this or else," they got a better chance of being hit by lightning twice in the same day. You're never going to get me to do something with an ultimatum. Never. It doesn't happen. I don't let it happen. Now, if you nicely ask me, "Can you please do this?" Or if you nicely ask me, "Can you please do that?" then absolutely I'll consider it if it's at all possible. But I don't do ultimatums, and I never have, and I never will. And that's just been part of my credo is that you don't force me to do what I don't want to do, and I don't force anybody else to do what they don't want to do either. One of the reasons why I was, and it sounds self-serving. One of the reasons why I was so popular in college, I tied with another guy for most popular, most friendly in our senior year in the yearbook, and I'm convinced the reason why is because I never ever told people what to do. I just said to them, "I'm doing this. Would you like to join me? Would you like to be a part of it? Would you like to participate? I would love to have you. If you don't, it's okay. It's not a big deal. You're not going to crush me. You're not going to hurt me. Whatever." And people take to that. They don't like to be told what to do. People don't like to be. I don't go in the gym and tell people what to do. I see somebody live. There's a guy yesterday. He had 355 pounds on his back for a squat. Impressive number. Except he didn't squat. He bent his knees a couple of inches and then stood up. If inches, if inches. I mean, it was so minute that he bent his legs. That wasn't a squat. That was ego lifting. He'd be much better putting 135 pounds on the bar and just doing it and doing a full range of motion. But he's worried about, oh, what do people think? What are people going to think if I put on 135 pounds? They'll think I'm a wimp. So instead, he puts on, a ridiculous amount of weight for him that he couldn't do. Another guy, I had to save him from himself. He was bench pressing. He had 135 pounds on the bar, did 10 reps. Good. Hey, Congratulations, it's nice. Then he decides for whatever reason to put 245s, one on each side. Now you jack the weight up to 225. Well, because I've been in the gym so long, I was watching out of the corner of my eye because I knew what was going to happen next. My hope was that he was going to stall. I thought he wasn't going to unrack it. I thought there was no way he was going to unrack it. He was strong enough to unrack it. That was the deadly mistake. He unracked it as soon as he went for the eccentric. When he started to pull down, that's when that weight dropped like an anvil and it came down on his chest and throat. And I was already 3/4 of the way there by the time it hit him, and I grabbed it and he pushed, I pulled, and we got it back up on the rack. And these are the kinds of things that you can't worry about what other people think. If I don't care if the guy next to me is benching 500. I can't bench 500. I never will be able to bench 500. It's not going to happen. I just don't have the genetic ability to do it. I'm never going to be the best looking person in the world. I'm just not genetically the best looking person in the world. I'm never going to be the sexiest man in the world for People magazine. I know that. I'm okay with it. I'm not going to be the smartest person in the room. It doesn't mean I'm stupid. It doesn't mean I'm dumb. It just means I'm not the best at everything or even anything. There's only one best at everything, no matter what it is. Whether it's a hockey player or if it's a pianist or if it's a painter or whatever, there can only be one best. That doesn't make you not good. And I think that's what I live my life a little too much, worrying about comparing myself to other people whose business is making more than my business. Yeah, I have a 6-figure business. That's great, but then I hear somebody has, they make 250,000. I don't make 250,000. I don't even make close to that. And I think, well, why isn't my business making $250,000? What's wrong with me? Why am I a loser? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Instead, be proud of what you got. Be proud of what you work for. Don't look at other people, compare yourself, and be so worried about, do I measure up? You're good on your own. You're valuable on your own. And that's why I like to connect with people. That's why I like meeting old friends or reconnecting with old friends, and meeting new people too. That's another thing. I don't buy into this idea that you can have enough friends. Some people say that. Some people say, well, if you have 2 or 3 friends in your life and they're good friends, that's all you need. If that's you, that's okay. You could do, that's fine. I'm not telling you that that's wrong at all. I love people. I just like to have people around me. Male, female. I mean, it has nothing to do with sexuality. It has nothing to do with dating. It has nothing to do with, um, anything like that. I just like people. I just enjoy connecting with people. And I said last week, I don't know what it is. I don't know how it works, but there's some vibe that I give off where people tell me things that they really probably wouldn't tell most people. And I don't know why that happens. And that's what worries me a little bit. It's like, will that ever go away? Like, will I lose that? Because I don't know what it is. I told a story last week about a guy. We worked together one day. We met one day, and we were training in New Jersey, up in Johnson and Johnson, up in New Brunswick, and we just met. And he said, "Do you want to go to the bar afterwards and have a drink?" I said, "Yeah, sure. Let's do it." So we hit the bar, and he's spilling his guts. I mean, he's telling me everything, like it's going wrong with his life. And ironically, I was just getting together with my then girlfriend, who became my wife. And he was telling me about how his marriage is falling apart. And I can, right now, I could picture the conversation. I could see him across the table from me. And I could hear his words about how, oh, my life is falling apart. My marriage is falling apart. And, this is terrible. And I said, God, I never want to be in that position. Thank God I'm in the position I'm in right now. And then look at this now. It's 2024. and now I'm him. I'm the guy, sitting on the other end of the table. Does it feel good? No, it doesn't feel good. But again, I've done my morning. I'm happy. I'm looking forward to the holidays. People have asked me, are the holidays going to be hard for you? In some ways, maybe, but in most ways, no. I go to bed happy. I wake up happy. When I'm at work, I'm on. I'm ready to go. When I'm in the gym, I'm ready to go. When I'm running the treadmill, I'm ready to go. Or if I'm everything is to the limit. There's nothing that there I have to have passion. If there's no passion, I fail 100% of the time. If there's passion, I succeed more than I fail. Does that mean I always succeed when I have passion? No. I have failed on many things, even though I was very passionate about it. I'm not perfect. I'm not always successful. I try to do the best I can. All I can be, all you can be, is the best person that you are on that given day. That's all you can be. If I go and teach a class, if I teach an Excel class or a Word class or PowerPoint or project management or any of the other titles that I train, and I have 103 fever, but I go anyway because you don't work, you don't get paid when you run your own business. So, I really try not to call out sick at all. I'll wear a mask and try to keep everybody else healthy, but uh, they're still getting my 100%. Now, is the 100% as good as it would be when I'm healthy? No, of course not. No, I'm way better when I'm healthy than I am when I'm sick. When I had colitis and I was struggling and virtually dying. I mean, a lot of people think that's that I dramatize that. I lost 50 pounds in 3 months and was bleeding internally and was collapsing and unable to eat. I mean, a tuna fish sandwich would take. I remember distinctly tuna fish because my father makes really good tuna fish, and he made me a tuna fish sandwich, and we're like, "Come on, Justin, you got to eat. You got to eat. You're gonna die of malnutrition." And I'm trying to eat it 45 or 50 minutes of just trying. I get maybe a quarter of a half of the sandwich down, and that was it. And then I drank some water, and that was it. So I dropped from 190 of really rock solid muscle to 147 emaciated, completely gone. I mean, my eyes were deep in my head, and my once really thick legs, hockey player legs, became thin, spindly little legs, and I didn't have the strength to do anything. I mean, I couldn't. I was dying, and then Dr. Prieto of Jefferson Hospital saved my life, and then did it again in 2015. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having the show right now. Somebody else would be doing the show instead of me. But you know, I spent too much of my life worried about too many stupid things, too many things. As I become 50, as I get older, and as I face an uncertain future, I more than ever now just have a whatever happens happens approach. I mean, how much more can you hurt me, right? I mean, I've lost an uncle who is very, very close to me. I've lost the family. I mean, they're not dead, but it's not the same. I don't see my kids every day, and the holidays are going to be different, and things are going to be different. That's painful. The friend who's got the debilitating disease is something that's been on my mind a lot, and it hurts. I mean, it's something that I know that eventually will take him away, and I don't like it. Somebody who's near and dear to my heart, and I have to accept that. And I have to accept my parents are getting older. I got to accept the fact that I'm not going to have them forever. Dr. JACALYN lost her mother recently. I can't remember if it was a year ago or close to it, maybe a little more than that. But she had to face that. She knew that was going to come, that day was going to come. And for too long, me personally put my head in the sand and tried to pretend like these things weren't going to happen. And I doubted my own ability to be able to handle them. And I now know that I can. And that's such a liberating feeling to know that you're strong enough mentally. I don't give a darn how much you bench press. I really don't. I don't care if you bench press more than me, less than me, or the same. It doesn't matter at all. Mental strength is way, way more important than physical strength. It just is. Mental strength is what gets you through the tough times. Tough times don't last, tough people do, and that's the truth. You can't bench press, you can't curl, you can't squat, you can't deadlift the loss of a loved one away. You can't do it. It's impossible. You can only accept it and make it part of your life and accept the new normal and decide that that's the way you're going to live your life, that's you're going to go on, and you're not going to use it as an excuse to lay down. I did that for a few years, and it's embarrassing for me to say that. I don't want to be here on TV across the world telling people that, I was a quitter, but I was a quitter for a while. Now, I also believe that you shouldn't be defined by your past, that you got to let people grow. You got to let people be themselves. If somebody was a drug addict 15 years ago and they're clean now, then they're clean now. Don't judge them on 15 years ago. Let them evolve. So am I a quitter because I was a quitter for a while? No, I was then. I don't even let it bother me now. I think about it. I say, well, that shame that happened. Those were years that I could have been happier. I could have done more to be happy. Could have done more to be more resilient, but it wasn't. And it is what it is. So this holiday season, think about all the joyous things that there are, all the kids in your lives, all the kids that you see, even if they're older kids. I watched my kids 2 Sundays ago. We went out and we took them shopping. Even though my wife and I aren't together, we went together to shop for the kids. And I think that's important. I think people who are in relationships like that need to show unity, because it's good for the kids. And I'm watching their little their little eyes. I was about to say, but I guess they're not little eyes. They're 18-year-old eyes and 13-year-old eyes, so they're not little anymore. But I watch their eyes light up. But to me, they're always little, right? And I saw them get so excited about buying gifts and getting things for Christmas and buying things for other people, and they were so excited. And I had to catch myself from not crying. I had to stop myself from not crying because I felt like it was such a moment of pure love and joy that it was just more than I could emotionally take. See, I have a theory that crying is your body's release. Think about this. When you're sad and it's overwhelming, what do? You cry. When you're happy and it's overwhelming, you cry. Sometimes when you're angry to the point of rage, you cry. So I think when tears fall, I don't think it's a sign of weakness. I think it's a sign of you're letting loose something because you have to. Your body's doing something because you've reached the threshold that's what happens. I mean, I've cried out of anger maybe 3 or 4 times in my entire life, and when I tell you it was out of anger, I mean it was a rage. I mean, I've been, um, I won't get into details, and it wasn't a violent thing, but I've had moments of um, literally tears of rage. And there's a book that is titled that, Tears of Rage. It's by John Walsh, who lost his son Adam Walsh. Adam Walsh was killed in 1991 after he was kidnapped at a Sears in Hollywood, Florida. And John Walsh wrote a book it's called Tears of Rage, where he just was so angry and consumed with anger that he would cry. I mean, it emotionally ate him apart. I get it. I mean, you lose a kid. I don't know how you survive that. I talked about last week the Gaudreau brothers. I never met them. I know so many people in the NHL community. I've been fortunate to meet them, to know them, to become friends with hockey players that I grew up idolizing, and now I meet them at parties and I hang out with them, and we're doing our charity game, which we'll talk about later at the end of the show, with Mark Recchi and Brian Propp and people like that. I mean, just people that I never imagined would ever be at my house or would be a friend, or somebody would say, hey, I got your back. You know, uh, that's just amazing to me. Who am I? I'm not a hockey player. I'm not a famous person. I'm not somebody who's super accomplished. I'm a regular Joe. And yet these aren't regular Joes. They're superstars in the eyes of a lot of people, and they're looked up to, and yet they treated me and do treat me like a good regular person. And that's heartwarming to me. I no longer get starstruck anymore. I used to see, a celebrity and think, my goodness, look at this celebrity. This person's really something special. We're all something special. Every one of us is. It's just that some people are more famous than others. I've told this to you before on the show. I feel like Mr. Rogers sometimes when I say these things, because they're so, um, I don't know what's the word, so G-rated, I guess. But we're um, there have been 117 billion people who have walked the planet. 117 billion. You are the only you who has walked this planet. You're one in 117 billion. And there will never again, as that number grows, there will never again be another you. Never. Ever, ever, ever. How special is that? Every person is unique. Every person is special. Every person has greatness in them. Now they got to decide whether they want to let it out or not. That's the decision that you have to make. There's greatness in every person, and greatness doesn't mean money, and greatness doesn't mean fame. Greatness means that you are somebody special. You're somebody who does special things, that you do good. You could be a genius and be a horrible person. That doesn't make you special. That doesn't make you special. You could be a billionaire. You could be the richest person on the planet. I don't care how much money you make. And if you're a horrible person and you do horrible things, it doesn't make you special. It doesn't. It doesn't impress me a little bit. Not even a little bit. I've actually stood next to some people who were celebrities, and I'll name one. He just passed away, Pete Rose. I mean, to be honest with you, I did not. I loved him as a kid. When I was a kid, Pete Rose was one of my favorite players. Because I loved the way he played the game. He was the way I would have played the game if I was good enough to be a pro baseball player. I would have been, running every pitch. Every time I touched the ball, I'd be digging down first base, looking for a base hit. I'd be trying to turn singles into doubles and doubles into triples. I'd be diving for balls. I played sports the same way he did without the talent. That's the difference. The talent wasn't there. So when I played hockey, I played like that. I dug in the corners and I took the hits, and I got in front of the net in the dirty areas and took beatings, and I did all those things. But there was a time where I was standing next to Pete Rose, and all these people are fawning all over him, and they're like, "Oh, it's Pete Rose. He's the hit king." And I had no time for him at all. I just walked away. I didn't even say hello. I didn't talk to him. I didn't try to shake his hand. I didn't. No, no. Now, if he had been a person who I felt was somebody more of quality, I mean, remember, it's not just the betting. It's the statutory rape. It's the other stuff that he was involved in that is much worse than the gambling. I could overlook the gambling. That's not what turned me off the most. But his behavior with women and the way he treated people, it just was ridiculous. Charging kids for autographs. Come on, sign the damn thing. You don't need to charge. You're making at the time, $1 million a year was a lot of money. He was making probably $1 million a year. And then with the memorabilia, he was making even more. So come on, sign the thing for the kid. But I just walked away. I didn't say hello. I didn't shake his hand. I just walked away. And then you have people that I know now, like Brian Propp or Ken Dunnick. Yeah, some of you might not remember Ken Dunek. Ken Dunek played for the Eagles for just one season. I think he might have only played a few games. He was on the Super Bowl team that lost the Super Bowl against the Raiders in 1981. He was one of the tight ends, but the starting tight end was Keith Kripke, and Ken didn't get a lot of playing time. But I know Ken really well because I'm part of his legacy club. He's got a club in New Jersey where it's called Jersey Man, and it's where a lot of high-powered business people meet. I'm not really a high-powered business person, but I like to be around them because I want to try to grow my business and learn from them and try to get better. And Ken is just, you might pass him on the street and not know who he is, but he's a world champion individual. When he saw me posting about the problems that I was having domestically, he would send me a message. He would text me, or he would send me a message on Facebook, or he'd call me and just check in and see how I'm doing. That's a real hero. Yeah, I don't care how much money he has. I don't care how much clout he has. I don't care how many touchdowns he caught in the NFL, which I don't think are any. I don't think he caught a touchdown pass in the NFL. He did catch touchdown passes for the Philadelphia Stars. If you remember back in the 80s, the Philadelphia Stars, and then they became the Baltimore Stars of the USFL. He was a starter there. So he did play in the USFL. And that was NFL quality football. There were a lot of great players there, including Reggie White and people like that. But my point is, he's not the kind of guy that you would say, like, let's say a Michael Jordan was walking down the street and people be mobbing him like crazy, or a Pete Rose, or even a Lenny Dykstra. I loved Lenny Dykstra, just like Pete Rose. I loved him. He's a horrible human being. I mean, he just is. The things he does are horrible. He rips people off. He doesn't pay people. He's nasty. He's not good to fans. He's a cheater. Did steroids. There are a lot of things. Now, did I enjoy him in 1993 when he was leading the Phillies to almost winning the World Series against Toronto, my freshman year of college? Yeah, it was a lot of fun. If you told me tomorrow you got a chance to meet Lenny Dykstra, you could go and sit with him in the press box and hang out with him, I'd say no, thank you. I really have no desire, none, zero. You want to ask me if I want to hang out with Ken Dunek? 7 days a week, 7 days a week. Now, as far as popularity, as far as notoriety, who's got more? Lenny Dykstra. As far as a human being, who's the better human being? It's not even close. It's not even close. Isn't that what matters? It's funny. Right before this show, Brian Propp was. I was a huge fan of Brian Propp as a kid. He played when I was. He joined the Flyers in 1980. I was 4, turning 5. I'll be 50 Friday, right? So it's a long time ago. And Proper is just, I've gotten to know him through charity events and things like that. And he's been to my house and he checked on me when I was sick. I saw him at a Christmas party this year, last week. And I told him what was going on. And he said, I'll support you in any way I can. He doesn't have to do that. He's Brian Propp. He's Brian Propp. He doesn't have to do that at all. He could just say, oh, well, good luck. And I would be fine with that. I mean, I would, that's cool. But he takes the time to say, I got your back if you need something. When I had surgery, he called my wife at the time and asked her how I was doing. As he was having a stroke, he was fighting back from his stroke. And he wanted to see how I was doing. I mean, these are good people. And like I said, right before the show, I didn't get a chance to answer it because I was about to do the show. But his brother, Ron Propp, who I met through Brian, and he said he's been asking me questions about some hockey skates that we've been talking about because he's a hockey player too. He didn't make the NHL, but he's a very good hockey player. And he called me up and he said, I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I know you're going through a lot. He said, I've been through divorce. If you ever need to talk about it, you could talk about it with me. These are connections. These are things that make me feel good. Seeing my 8th grade teacher, seeing my 6th grade teacher, Rachel calling or or not calling, but typing in, friends saying that they're going to watch the show, people who comment, people who care, people who ask questions. I told my friend, and I told her I wouldn't use her name, so I won't. But she sent me a text, a message over Facebook yesterday. And unlike most people, she asked questions that were personal questions about me. She wanted to know how I was doing, whereas most people will send you messages about them and talk about what they're doing and how they are and what's going on in their life. And they really, it's not that they don't care, but they just don't think to do it. And I told her, I said, it's a um, unique quality to have, and it's something that you should cherish because most people don't do it, and that's special. And that's how I wish people could always be. The Ken Dunnocks or this woman yesterday. To me, these people will always be kids, right? I always say, oh, the kids that I went to school with. Well, yeah, I mean, these kids are 50 years old now, so we're not kids anymore. But to me, we're all the kids, right? We're still the kids, or neighbors sending you something because my uncle passed away, so they sent food over and things like that. And I try to do as many things as I can. I'm a big mass card guy. If somebody passes away, I try my best to give out mass cards as much as I can because I think prayer is important. I think that not only is prayer important, I think letting people know that you're thinking about them and praying for their loved one is important. I think that eases some of their pain. It takes away some of that pain. And I want to be that. And that's more important than anything else. No matter how much money I make, I don't care. Look, do I want $1 million? Do I want to be $1 million business owner? Sure. Will it happen? Odds are against it, but I don't rule it out. I think it's possible. I think it can happen. I think it's a long shot, but I'm pretty confident that eventually I'll get to $250,000. But is that going to make me a better person? No, I'm going to be the same person I am now. I'll be a little more financially solvent. I'll be able to afford college better. I'll be able to not worry so much about retirement. I'll be able to, do things that maybe buy a car that I really want that I can't buy now, those things. And that would be nice. I mean, I'll enjoy that. That would be good, but that's not going to make me a better person. I always said that I always prayed to God that I'd be a billionaire because I would give away so much money, people would think I was insane. If I had, like some people have $100 billion, I give away, and I'm being dead honest with you, I give away at least 99 billion of it because I would still be a billionaire. I would still have $1 billion left. What do I need? What do I need? How many people could you feed with $99 billion? How many people could you make their life better? How many research labs could you pay to try to cure cancer, Alzheimer's disease, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, all diseases, diabetes? I mean, with that money, what do you do with it? It's green paper. That's all it is. It's green paper. I'm not saying money's not important for us who are in middle class who need it to pay for things like our kids' college and the mortgage and the rent and the house and the electric and all that. I get it. I get it. I get it. But what I'm saying is, I wish I was in a position where I could go to a restaurant and see a waitress struggling and write her, a $200,000 check for a tip. If you're a billionaire, you could do that without. And are you giving away from your what you need? No, it's your excess. It's all excess. It's more impressive to me when I see people give from what they need. I still give to charity, even though I'm struggling now because I'm going through a divorce and I'm going through a daughter going to college. But I still donate money that I don't have. Some people might call me stupid. They might say that, that's ridiculous. Why would you do that? because, hey, listen, when I close my eyes for the last time, I don't care how much money's in my pocket or in my drawer or in my bank account or anywhere else. It ain't going with me. It's staying right here. It's not going anywhere. It's staying right here. People say, well, don't you want to leave your kids something? Yeah, I want to leave my kids an education, a legacy. I want to leave them um, weddings if they decide to get married. I want to do that. I if there's nothing left at the end, there's nothing left at the end. I don't care. I don't care if I die in debt. I really don't, because it goes away. The kids will sell the house, they'll pay off whatever they can pay off, and then the rest of the debt disappears. You can't get bogged down with these things. And for too long, I let myself worry about these things. We're heading into a beautiful season. This is the greatest season of the year, in my opinion. Now, some people like summer, but I love Christmas. And I remember as a little kid hearing, I must have been 5 years old, and I remember somebody saying Christmas can be such a hard time for people and really depressing. And as a 5-year old, I couldn't wrap my mind around how you could not like Christmas. I was like, how could you not like Christmas? It's beautiful. The world is lit up. People are smiling. You're getting and giving and family time and all the good things. And I didn't think of the people who were homeless. I didn't think of the people who were getting divorced. And I didn't think of the people who lost a loved one, this year, like we did, like my uncle. I didn't wrap my 5-year-old brain around that. But at the 50-year-old brain tells me that, yeah, those things are going to hurt, but they don't have to define this Christmas. They don't have to define what this year is going to be. They don't have to define what these next few weeks of Advent are for those who celebrate Advent. Time of preparation for Jesus' coming. I believe that. I believe that Jesus wants us to enjoy the anticipation. To me, that's the best part. To me, that's the best part, the anticipation. I am so much more a Christmas Eve guy than a Christmas guy, because Christmas is kind of all done, but Christmas Eve is when, you're preparing, you're getting ready, and I stay up all night on Christmas Eve, even if, well, when we were a family, I was the only one who stayed awake, but I would be watching Christmas specials from the 70s and 80s and stuff like that because I enjoyed it. I just like to do it, and it made me feel good. It made me feel like a kid again. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with feeling like a kid, you know. Um, I don't care what the number says in the front. It doesn't matter. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 doesn't matter. The kid, the 20-some-year-old, the 10-year-old, still here, still in my heart, not going anywhere. And this is the season to do it. So if you're worried about problems that you're having, relationship problems, if you're worried about the loss or sad about the loss of a loved one, I get it. I'm in the same position as you are. I'm again, big changes, right? In 8 weeks, I've had to swallow a lot, and it's not easy. I'm not telling you it's simple, but I changed my attitude. I literally decided, no, this is not going to be another year where I let the season go by and I don't enjoy it because I allowed the things that drag you down to drag me down. I'm just not letting it happen. And you don't have to either. You have a choice. You have a choice. And a lot of people don't. If you're homeless, you don't have a choice. You're homeless, you know. But even a homeless person can try to make the best out of whatever they have. Maybe they have another friend that is nearby. Maybe they have a pet. Maybe they could go to a shelter and be with people. Folks, life's too short to worry about stuff like money, and it's great to have things. Don't get me wrong. I like having things. I like my um, hockey jersey collection. I like my record collection. I like my iPhone. Things like that. They're things I enjoy, certainly, without a doubt. But at the same time, they're not the be all and end all. I mean, they're not. If they were gone tomorrow, would it be a disaster? No. But you know, what matters is the memories that you make, the time that you make. I look at ornaments. And I can remember my kids making ornaments and thinking, you know, I remember when they were that little. And I used to say all the time when they were really little, I used to say, no matter how old you are and no matter how big you get, you will always be my little baby. I would say that over and over again to them. And I still say it to them now at 18 and 13. No matter how old you are and no matter how big you get, you will always be my little baby. I say it to them all the time. And it's true. And it's fun to reminisce and to look back on those things. Memories can be a double-edged sword. Sometimes they hurt, but try not to let them hurt you. Try to make you feel good. Try to make them put a smile on your face and not a tear in your eye. All right, so do me a favor. Enjoy this holiday season. We got a couple more weeks left. It's the 16th, so the 23rd is next week. So we got what, 9 days until Christmas. So you have 9 days to enjoy the season. And guess what? Christmas is 12, literally up until January 6th, really. And in fact, if you look it up, Christmas time literally goes into February. A lot of people don't realize that is the truth. And I didn't know that either, but I looked it up one time. I remember, like, when does Christmas really end? Does it end on the 26th? Or does it end on the 6th, the Epiphany? Or does it end later? Like when? And it's actually in a lot of places it ends in February. So it's a very long season if you want it to be. Enjoy it, milk it, get as much as you can out of it. This isn't fake happiness, what you're looking at right now. I've been on this show. I've cried on this show. You've seen me cry. You've seen tears. You've seen me go in the depths of despair. You've seen what I looked like a couple of years ago because I just didn't have the strength to carry on. Those days are over. I'm not letting them happen anymore. I have a choice. I either go back there or I stay here. I choose to stay here. You choose to stay here too. Right? Now, there's something else I want you to choose to do. Yes, Jacqueline says, please stay here. Something else I want you to do. I want you to take a look at this video. We have the NHL Celebrity Hockey Game coming up. Now, listen to these names. Now, if you're a hockey fan, Mark Recchi, Brian Propp, Kevin Dineen, Chris Terrian, Todd Fedoruk, Doug Crossman, and Rod Brindamore, all coming to the game. Now, just for transparency, these guys are in the NHL. They coach. Some of them are announcers. There is a possibility that their schedules could preclude them from making it. Now, do I expect all of them to miss it? No. But I don't lie to people. I'm not going to give you a fake story and say, hey, guess what? Mark Recchi is going to be there. There's probably a 90% chance he's going to be there. But could his kids get sick? Could he have to do something for the Columbus Blue Jackets where he's an assistant coach? Anything could happen. But Mark Recchi picked a date. He said, this is the best chance you got to get me, is August 23rd, 2025. So there's a real good chance. And I've been in touch with him many times, and he's still on board. So, you know, let's hope. I got our fingers crossed here. You know, I would be the most disappointed person out of everyone if some of these guys can't make it. So believe me, there's a lot riding on the line for me here. But come out. Think of those names. Lauren Hart's going to be there at the party afterwards. 2-hour open bar with the hockey players, with Lauren Hart. Joe Conklin's going to do a comedy bit, maybe 10-minute comedy bit. Rolf Benershka, the kicker from the NFL, is going to be there. He was an all-pro kicker for the San Diego Chargers, and he runs an ostomy organization called Embracing Ostomy Life. And we're giving money to him. And the rest of the money goes to CHOP. It's going to go to Children's Hospital of Philadelphia's GI department for kids with inflammatory bowel disease, which is near and dear to my heart since I was a Crohn's patient. Or, I'm sorry, not a Crohn's patient, a colitis patient. So watch this little vignette. We'll talk a little bit more about it, and then we'll end the show.
I just want to tell you how thankful I am that you came out tonight and helped us out on a very special evening. Crohn's and colitis are terrible incurable diseases, and they affect a lot of people, not only in the Delaware Valley, but all over the world. And hopefully we can find a cure someday.
Nolan here with you at the Checkmates versus the Flyers alumni. We had a great time this afternoon. Game was close, and we're all here for Checkmates Charities, which is the real reason that everybody's here, not only the players, but all the fans that were here. It was a great day, and we're really happy to be here.
It was fun to be out here at Northeast Skate Zone because the Checos were a pretty good team, and so we had a lot of fun with the charity.
And it was good because they took it easy on us old guys. So we had a good time. So anytime you can do something for charity, and I know a couple guys on the other team, and just to be on the rink, we all go have fun.
Good times go. I'm either gone in an instant or here to the bitter, and I never know what I got.
I want to thank my family for all that they did to help me get through this, and there's a lot of planning that get done. It has to get done. I want to thank Nick's Roast Beef and Common Avenue for all they've done. Dr. Prieto for saving my life and finding the disease and treating me for so long. And the Flyers organization for all they do to help us raise money every year. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Baby, you ready to go? Come on. We're going to have a great night. I say it every week. I'm going to say it one more time. I want 1,000 people in that rink that night because I want 1,000 hugs. And 1,000 people fit in that rink. I want 700 hugs at the restaurant because it holds 700. The tickets will go on sale probably tomorrow. $70. $70. There's the website, checkmatescharity.com, www.checkmatescharity.com. And it's $70. You get to watch the game. If you only want to watch the game, it's $25. You don't have to come to the dinner. The dinner is an add-on. You buy the add-on and you come to the dinner for $70, open bar for 2 hours. That alone is worth $70. Then you have dinner with the players. They sign autographs. They have a beer with you. They eat with you. They hang out. They tell hockey stories. We have the building until 12, but the lady's so nice. She said to me, you can close it down. We can stay till 2 o'clock in the morning if we want to. And there'll be a band there. Joe Conklin's going to do a bit, the comedy bit. It's going to be hilarious. He's phenomenal. Great guy. Lauren Hart's going to be there. She's going to, I don't know if she's going to sing or at least sign autographs or whatever, but she's going to be there. So well worth it. So well worth it. And it's such a good cause. We got to help these people who are struggling with Crohn's, colitis, and ostomy. These are underserved, underfunded groups, and they need our help. So you can be that help. I can't do this alone. I'm not. I can't. I don't have the ability to do it. I need you. So do you have my back? I hope so, because I'd have yours. Always remember that. I would have your back and my business. If you want to actually work with me, I do corporate training. So I train people on computer skills and soft skills. I do Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, Visio, Project, Outlook, Teams, OneNote, a bunch of others. I do time management, conflict management, personality conferences. We do all kinds of different things. So reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn. My website is www.justforyou, all spelled out, JUSTFORYOUTC.com. And my email address is justin@justforyouTC.com. And there's my Facebook page. You can always, I'll friend everybody. So anybody who friends me, I accept. So I'll never have enough friends. I always want to have friends. So the more the better. All right. So do me one favor. Besides coming to the game in August. That's a big favor. But the little favor is, please enjoy every second you can of this holiday season. Take every moment and make it a memory, and don't let anything drag you down and make it anything bad. Just take the good and have a lifelong memory that will last forever. And I promise you it'll be well worth it. As usual, thank you for joining us on You as a Whole, Body, Mind, and Soul on USA Global TV and Radio. I'll see you next week.